Hi everybody, it's Dan. Welcome back to the Rock Nerd Radio Show here on YouTube. Today we're just gonna kind of talk and show off some stuff and relax a little bit.
Come geek out with us on the Rock Nerd Radio Show.
Hey, so welcome back to the channel. It's been a little while since I've just kind of talked to you out there. I'm normally showing you some figures of some kind, but yeah, today we're just gonna kind of relax a little bit because quite honestly, my basement display area, this part that you can see, looks pretty nice. I do keep it organized and I try to update my shelves as regularly as possible. They are crowded, I'll admit, but I try to keep them neatly organized and things displayed in a way that makes me happy. And I've kind of been angry at myself because within the past month and a half, a bunch of pre-orders have arrived. Some significantly earlier than they were expected to, and I just haven't opened stuff. I don't know if I'm getting like toy collector fatigue, or if I want to try to open things just so I can review it on camera. But there's some stuff that's been kind of crowding my review area that's been off to the side, either next to it or on the floor or whatever, that I've kind of realized I'm not going to give it a formal review. I wanted to show that stuff off, share some thoughts about it. But then I also have some of the stuff that came from pre-order that I'm just going to show off because I don't plan on doing a full review on it either. There's literally another pile across the basement that I'm in with a bunch of things that have arrived that I do plan on actually giving proper reviews to. It's mostly Transformers and Marvel Legends. And what I have next to me is some stuff that is neither of that. There is some stuff that is, and there's some stuff that isn't. But there's some stuff that I just, I've been wanting to talk about, but I haven't. And maybe if I just do a quick video showing that stuff, I'll get it out of my system. I'll feel like I talked about it. And then I can just display it and start cleaning my basement because it is getting a little messy down here. So, real quick, October. Holy crap, was October busy. I was surprised I managed to make that full week of Constructicon videos. I'm surprised I managed to get all of them out to you because I really didn't think I was going to. I filmed them all in like one day, and then it was just the editing and making sure I posted every day and things like that. And it was kind of a grind. It's been a while since I've done daily videos for like a week, and that was like 6 days. It was like not a full calendar week, but like longer than a regular work week. So yeah, I was so happy to get that stuff out, and thank you for the love on the Super Scroll video that I posted. I was at New York Comic Con. I got that fall convention exclusive Super Scroll, and that video has done so well. So thank you to everybody who tuned in, watched it, subscribed because of that. That one really means a lot. I didn't think that was going to do nearly as well as it did. But anyway, enough of rambling. Let's show off some toys. So there are some things that I've just kind of had sitting around that I've wanted to show off and show to you, but I'm not going to give it full reviews. But one of the things that is a relatively new pickup, new arrival, is the Masters of the Universe Origins Stingor. Of course, this is I'm going to say a new character into the Motu franchise. I'll admit I don't really know a whole lot about Stingor, but on the back you can see he's fighting a very young man-at-arms as Hordak is sneaking through a portal with a little baby, which I'm assuming is Adora, the woman who would become She-Ra. So he has a mini comic. I do want to read it and check it out, but this was a Mattel Creations exclusive. Glad I picked it up. It does look cool. I'm cool with like a scorpion horde man. I am just wondering why we didn't get an actual Scorpina from the She-Ra cartoon. I'm waiting for that. Something tells me we will get her, but I don't know if there'll be any parts for use or anything. But yeah, this guy looks real cool. So sticking in the vein of Motu, I also got the Cartoon Collection Shadow Weaver. So this is pretty cool. Something tells me she's going to be a bit of a traffic cone. I don't even think she doesn't have legs. You can see the bottom there. So she is just a hollow figure with some arms and a head. But she does have a book of spells here and like a wand. So I'll take her out. I'll sit her on my horde shelf. She's a cool character, Shadow Weaver. I like her, and I'm sure she has. Yeah, there's a mini comic in here. Final Fright, it says. Might be a little hard to see there, but there you go. So yeah, my Motu purchases I really have been slowing down on just because I my initial goal was to just buy Horde characters, and then with Masterverse, I started buying a lot of stuff. And I don't know, I'm just not feeling as excited for that stuff as I once was. Still am for Horde stuff, but like the new wave that is coming out, currently coming out, will be coming out soon as of this video, is Mantenna, Mosquitor, and Anti-Eternia He-Man. And when I was doing a lot of Masterverse, I was like, well, I like Skeletor's crew because like I like Crazy Monster Men. Of course, the Horde, I'll get Horde guys. So we have 2 Horde characters that are coming out in that wave. But the Anti-Eternia He-Man, while he looks awesome, it's just not something I feel a connection to, and I don't feel like I need to get it. I don't know if that trend will continue with future waves of Masterverse stuff. If I'll just kind of feel like, I don't need it. But we'll see what happens. Anyway, rambling. Let's keep going. I do have a Marvel Legends figure here. Maybe we'll get into all the Marvel Legends that I have. This arrived a while ago, and again, he's just been sitting in a package. It is the Target exclusive Weapon X, and it looks cool. I think it's a worthy upgrade to the old Weapon X, especially because this is pinless. And I like that he has a grimacing face under the helmet. The old Weapon X figure that came out, it had like a calm face when he had the helmet on, and that kind of bothered me. But yeah, this one just looks cool. I was thinking maybe I'll do a which is better, comparing this version of Weapon X and the old version of Weapon X. I don't know. I might not. But one of the things that I think are so cool, this one has opened hands with the claws coming out. And I feel like that is not something we normally get with a Wolverine figure. So getting the Weapon X Wolverine with clawed hands that are fisted, regular just holding hands, and then open hands with the claws. That is so cool to me. And this other alternate head with the, I don't know, like the mind control gear, whatever that is. That looks really cool. I can literally picture the art that is from. But yeah, this is probably just going to get opened and thrown on a shelf because I don't think it needs that big of a review. If you really want to see me go in depth into it, let me know in the comments below. I'll totally do that. But I also did pick up for cheap a secondary Whiplash. I am working on a Senyaka custom, Marvel Legends Senyaka, and I need the Electro Whip. So look, there's a instant Electro Whip from Whiplash. But also, I'm probably going to use his ponytail as on another character that I've been working on. And then I have a pretty decent fodder body, quite honestly. So I'll be able to kind of play with that if I want to. I do have a couple other Marvel Legends off to the side here. Let me grab the first one. This one has been sitting next to my review area for a few months now, and I kept saying, oh, I'll do a review, and I just never got around to it. It's the X-Force Archangel. Looks really cool. I have to be honest. It looks pretty menacing, and these wings are huge, like just giant wingspan here. They look great on the back too. Like everything is well sculpted, everything is well painted. He's an excellent addition when you factor in that new Warpath and X-23 that came out. Yeah, he looks phenomenal. I am wondering if they're going to use this mold to make a classic blue and purple, pink, whatever color Archangel. You know, like a very 90s Archangel. I could see them doing an alternate head with the hair coming out. But yeah, I'm wondering if we're going to get another Warren. It's cool, and I don't really know what else to say about it because the wings are the main draw. The figure itself is just Vulcan body, kind of standard for Marvel Legends these days. Has all the joints and, whatever you would expect from Marvel Legends. Doesn't have butterfly joints, probably because of the wings. But I think the wings are the biggest draw because you can really pose out these wings. This is going to be something that I really am going to have to play around with my shelf space for because these wings take up a lot of room. I might kind of fold them like this a little bit, kind of like I'm doing now. But the wingtips go a lot lower, so like I may have to kind of display it like this. I don't know. I'm gonna really have to rearrange my shelf and see. I do have the old, I think it was a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive X-Force Archangel on my shelf. Obviously, he's on the Bucky Cap body, significantly smaller than this one, so he'll probably end up taking the spot on my shelf, and the old one will probably get retired. But this is really cool. He does have an alternate angry screaming head as well as open hands, but I just kind of like him looking like this. I think this looks great. Maybe I'll see if I can rig him up to a flight stand and have him kind of floating above the Uncanny X-Force or this era X-Force as well, because yeah, I don't really know how I'm going to get him to fit on my shelf. Also, I started over the summer kind of rethinking my Marvel Legends display and really kind of, especially with X-Men, who I used to buy every single character of, just kind of thinking about, okay, like what really makes me happy with X-Men, what are the team rosters that I love, and what can I kind of pull off the shelf. And I've slowly been starting to pull things down, even from the X-Men side of Marvel Legends, which is big for me. But it also, I think, is going to help me in the long run organize my stuff. Another figure that I kind of picked up on a whim, I saw him for sale from someone on Facebook, was the Spider-Man animated series Doctor Octopus. I do have a strong attachment to this costume, to this look of Doctor Octopus. I did grow up watching the 90s animated series and really always loved this look for Doc Ock. I think it is a great looking figure. But this was never the Doc Ock toy. I may have had the Toy Biz one at some point, but like this was never like my interpretation of Doc Ock. It was definitely something that looked cool in the cartoon show, but I don't know how like necessary it was to me. If anything, I kind of pictured Doc Ock as the like the suit wearing Doc Ock from like the Revenge of the Sinister Six storyline. That was always kind of my Doc Ock, even though I had the Secret Wars Doctor Octopus as well as the first Toy Biz, like the one with the bendy tentacles that had suction cups on them. So this is cool, and I got him for a pretty decent deal, and I thought like, oh, I can't wait to put this on the shelf, and then I don't know where I'm going to put him. So yeah, I was kind of bummed out by that. I don't really know what I'm going to do with this figure. Also, I think his waist articulation is garbage because he just has a joint down here at the waist, and there's nothing else. So he's not the most opposable dude, probably because of the backpack with the tentacles on it. But I do like that he has bendy tentacles. I will say that. This is a nice touch, but yeah, I don't really know what I'm gonna do with this figure. Like he looks mean, he looks menacing, but like again, what am I gonna do with him? And that is the same for the Marvel Legends Spider-Man animated series Chameleon. I want a new Chameleon. I want to say that the old suited body one was great for when it came out, but that suited body is old. It doesn't hold up as well. So I picked this version up on a sale. The belt on mine is broken, which I believe is a common issue people have had. You may have seen him just kind of chilling in the background of some recent videos. Yeah, I picked him up, and then I immediately, like, I opened it up and was just like, oh, why did I buy this? It looks cool, but this was never a Chameleon, how Chameleon looked in the comics. He looked like this in the 90s animated series, which again is neat. I have strong ties to that series, but yeah, this isn't what I picture Chameleon when I picture Chameleon. I kind of picture like that almost like a robe wearing Chameleon, you know, like that's the kind of Chameleon I want, not just like a generic suit body, and maybe not something as cartoony. So this one and the Doc Ock, I don't know what I'm going to do with. And you can even see back in my background, the animated series Vulture is back there. Now that was a costume that Vulture did briefly wear in the comics when he was stealing people's youth. So like, those are three very comic-y representations of Spider-Man characters, or cartoony representations of Spider-Man characters. So maybe they'll end up on a spot somewhere on my shelf together where it's like animated representations that, like, you know, I just kind of like. I don't really know what I'm going to do with all them, but we'll see. They might all end up getting sold. I don't know. I'm trying to clean out some stuff and get rid of some stuff and really just keep the stuff that I love. But going along with that, one more Marvel Legends is this Professor X. He was also a Target exclusive. I picked him up back in April, took a couple pictures of him, put him on Instagram, made a joke about him checking the time on his non-existent watch. But he's definitely going to go on my display, but I don't feel the need to really talk about him. He's cool. He's in this, is it the Hank Pym from the Avengers West Coast body? That one from the Avengers West Coast box set. It's a nice looking figure. I'll probably put him in the hover chair with my X-Men Blue and Gold team. That is like my main X-Men display. And then I'll take the green suited one and put him on my Secret War shelf. I think that'll be how I do it. But yeah, like he's cool. I'm glad I got him. But yeah, like not a whole lot to say. He's cool. He's Xavier. Believe it or not, I think I bought 2 Professor X's this year because I also have the Warlord Xavier as well. So moving along, to some other stuff that I got that I'm just gonna open and put on a shelf. I did get two Gundams. I got the Gundam Wing Zero. When I started buying the Gundam Universe figures, I was like, I'm just gonna get Gundam Wing characters, and that was where I was at. I decided I'm not gonna do Endless Waltz. I'm just gonna stick to the main show. I do have the regular wing. The Wing Zero felt like something I should buy too. Will I buy all the upgraded Gundams? Maybe if they keep doing them. But along with him came Epion, who was the one I really, really wanted. So Epion's just going to get opened up. I realize I've never reviewed any of the Gundam Universe stuff on camera. It's just a very small kind of collection that is really just for me. They're on a shelf, and I'm literally looking at them now, and it's fun. I like it. I'll buy any of the Gundam Wing suits that come out, any of those designs. I think they're neat. But yeah, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about them on camera. And then I got three, let's say three more things to talk about. But there are two G.I. Joe things that I have here that I just want to open up. One being this version of Snake Eyes. When I was a kid, this was kind of my Snake Eyes. I love the cartoon look with the visor, and I had the classified, special edition 00 Snake Eyes, the first one that came out. I did get rid of him and decided that I was going to change my G.I. Joe Classifieds buying into certain characters, things that maybe I had as a kid that I remember opening that I loved. And I had this Snake Eyes and wanted to have the classified version of him. So this is going to be the Snake Eyes on my shelf. And then going along with that, another pair of ninjas who I had Slice and Dice. I actually remember finding Dice on the school playground, and then like a couple months later finding Slice on the school playground, and rules are I held it up. Anybody? Nobody. So I took them home. So I had Slice and Dice as a kid. Very happy to have Slice and Dice now. Love that it says Ninja Force. I was toying with the idea of buying a bunch of Ninja Force characters. I have the Arctic Storm Shadow, I think they called him, which is technically Ninja Force Storm Shadow. I now have Slice and Dice. I have, what's his name, Nunchuck on my shelf. So and I know the Snake Eyes I just showed isn't Ninja Force Snake Eyes, but to me it's Ninja Force Snake Eyes, because I think that was his look in the no, it wasn't his look in Ninja Force comics. Now that I'm thinking about it, but I might pick up a few more Ninja Force characters. I know in a recent live stream they name dropped Ninja Force Zartan, so I'm sure Pixel Dan is very happy, and I might pick up a Ninja Force Zartan because that just seems ridiculous that it would exist. So there we go. And now the last thing to talk about is another 2-pack. It's a Transformers 2-pack. I did pick up, I want to say this was over the summer, the video game Decepticon 2-pack with the Elite Seeker and the Ground Soldier. And this is obviously the Runabout mold and the Conehead mold. They have some unique weapons where the Conehead has 2 swords and his blaster, while this guy has a big sword. And I got 2 of this 2-pack because I figured it'd be cool to build up these ranks. As I literally almost fall off my chair. There we go. So yeah, I picked these guys up, and I don't really know what to say about them because they're cool. I dig them. This guy has a face on his crotch. But it's like, I picked him up and I don't really know where I'm going to put him in my Transformers display. I was recently redoing my Transformers display just to kind of, make that a little more streamlined. And I don't really know where I'm going to stick these guys. Like, they objectively look friggin' awesome, but they're not cartoon characters, so they're not going to go on a G1 cartoon shelf. They're not comic characters, and I don't really have a video game shelf, so they'll end up somewhere, I'm sure. I just don't know where. I just love this guy's swords. I gotta say, the swords that this guy comes with look awesome, because they're just giant blades. And there it is, of course, what they used in the game. It was Devastation. So I have this 2-pack. They're gonna find a spot to live, but I'm not. This was one that I almost felt guilty buying once I opened it up, because I was like, what am I gonna do with these guys, So yeah, I'll like I said, I'll figure something out. But I feel like I've said in the past, like, oh, how many times do you get to army build with Transformers? But I feel like recently getting to army build with Transformers is something you get to do. so like it doesn't feel special anymore. So I'll find a spot. They'll live somewhere on the shelf for a little while, or eventually turn around and I'll sell them. We'll figure it out. But yeah, that's a bunch of stuff that I have that I just want to open and just kind of put on a shelf and be done with, and get some clutter out of my basement here. Feel better about what I have in front of me. But like I said, October was busy. My wife and I had something going on every weekend in October. Special shout out to my wife's cousin, her cousin Rachel. I got to officiate their wedding recently, so that was cool. Her and her husband Joe. So hi Rachel and Joe, if you're watching. Yeah, I got to officiate a wedding. I am a licensed wedding officiant, which is pretty cool. And yeah, that I felt so honored that they asked me to do that. And yeah, that's kind of why stuff hasn't been coming out as quickly as normal. I had to travel for that wedding, but also like we had New York Comic Con, we had pumpkin picking, fall stuff, and like we were just every weekend something was going on, and it made for a very busy fall time. Like October flew by, and now literally I'm recording this on November 1st. It'll probably be up within a couple of days of November 1st, but yeah, it's like it just the fall flew by. Winter is going to be here before I know it. Christmas will be here before I know it, and then the end of the year, and I'll have some top tens to talk about. I am half debating, and I would love some feedback on this too. Would you like to see a top 10 Transformers and Marvel Legends countdown like usual, or just a general top 10 favorite things that I got this year? Because I do collect more than just Marvel Legends and Transformers, but they don't get nearly. I don't buy nearly as much stuff. So like, should I do a countdown of like all the top 10 things that I like this year? Should I do 3 countdowns? Let me know. Stick it down in the comments below. I would love to hear your feedback and your opinion on that. And remember, you can always check out the Rock Nerd Radio Show podcast. It is a weekly podcast hosted by myself and my good friend Vinny. We talk about all sorts of pop culture stuff on there. There's bound to be something that you're going to enjoy, so I would love it if you checked it out. Wherever you get your podcasts, by the way, it's just about everywhere. So I guess that does it here. I'm going to open up some boxes and then bring some boxes out to the garbage for recycling. So until next time, hey, I've been Dan. You've been pretty awesome. I'll see you around. Have a good one.